Excited. We're excited to have
Beautiful.
you do this for us, Maleeva, because you're the best.
Yeah, you got it. My pleasure. I'm excited for people to know about it because I think it's one of our most like under talked about capabilities with the is helping support nonprofits.
Yeah, and I just spoke with a pastor today. Jamila is her one of her prospects, so we were just talking to him about this program, and Jamila's like, I just learned so much. I'm like, yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
It's a lot. It's such a great program.
All right, we are at 9:03, so I'm ready when you are, lady.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we should get started. Yeah, so thank you guys for all being here tonight. We're really excited to have Maleeva, because if you guys know anything about Maleeva, she, you know how people say like that when people have a good singing voice and you say you could sing the phone book and I would just be hanging on every word. Maleeva could read the phone book and I would be hanging on every word because she's just such a great communicator. So I'm always excited to listen to anything that she has to say. And so we're thankful, Maleeva, that you're here and agreed to do this presentation for us. We're excited to learn more about it. And Maleeva and I were just talking about, it's definitely such a great program for nonprofits to raise money for their cause on a continual basis. So I know that you all will be excited, and definitely make sure that you're ready to take notes. And I'm sure Maleeva will be happy to answer questions at the end. So without further ado, Maleeva, take it away. Thanks again for doing this for us. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Muted. I muted myself. Well, thank you all so much for having me. Gina, thank you for, and Jack, actually, for asking me to hop on and talk to you about the nonprofit program. It's something that I've known about for a long time, but I just started really kind of getting the word out there. And I've been having some really great feedback. So I'm really excited to share it with all of you. As we know right now, nonprofits now more than ever are having a really difficult time with fundraising. Because I think, you know, with people looking to stretch a dollar and then the government not giving as much money, or assets being frozen right now as kind of we're dealing with the past 10 months, that nonprofits are really struggling in raising awareness and raising funds to be able to support their community efforts. And so there is a division of Market America and Shop.com. And if you've not heard about this company, or if you're a guest or this is the first time you're hearing about anything that we have to offer, please get back together with the person that invited you and hear a little bit more as a whole, because we're going to be talking about one division of the company that allows us to work with nonprofits. And so the company is called Market America and Shop.com. It's kind of like two sides of a coin. And we're going to talk about that a little more in depth, because it's going to show you some resources that you have access to help a nonprofit build funds. Although we don't talk about profit, we speak about it as royalties, as a proper 501c3. And so the best part of this nonprofit program is it doesn't just benefit the nonprofit, it actually also benefits and gives value to their community that supports the nonprofit as well. So it's actually a really neat program that doesn't just give the funds, like access to the funds that the nonprofit needs, but it actually gives them some extra value and some resources that allows them to support their community or their church congregation, or whatever it is the nonprofit community has access to. Okay, so this is what it is. It's a program that allows all 501c nonprofit organizations, so they have to be a 501c3, to receive royalties for using our division of the company and the participation of its supporters shopping through a unique shop.com website that is also NPO branded. And so here's what's really neat. Has everybody heard of the Amazon Smile program? Maybe just a quick show of hands, Amazon Smile, yeah. And so great program, but I think what a lot of the feedback I've gotten from that program is people want to support their nonprofit, but they completely forget to click on them when they go to make a purchase. And so they don't remember about the nonprofit until after they've already made the purchase, and they're like, oh, I should have went and clicked the nonprofit, and they forgot, and then they say, okay, well, next time I do that, and then they forget, and then it's just this whole never-ending cycle. So in theory, the program is great, but I think what gives us an extra leg up is that instead of having to remember, if you have a nonprofit you'd like to support, instead of having to remember to click them from a drop-down menu or go to a separate page before doing the nonprofit actually gets a branded website. So it's kind of like getting to go to the nonprofit's Amazon versus having to click them from a drop-down menu. So each nonprofit has their own unique branded website that their constituents or their congregation or their community is cookied to. And so every time they make a purchase, they know automatically their nonprofit is going to get paid, not an if they go through the extra steps in order to make that happen. And so that's one thing that makes this program very special. So here's a couple ways for the nonprofit to register. So the first thing is to get started is we have an application that requires like the 501c3, the name of the organization, and all of that stuff that gets submitted to the company with the name of whatever they would like their shop.com website to be named. From there, the nonprofit is able to promote to the website to their supporters. And there's two different types of royalties they can earn. So they get access to this website that has two different types of products, which we'll talk about, that gets them paid these royalty streams. So all they have to do is share this website with their community and then educate their supporters. And here's the neat thing is that every single nonprofit is introduced to the company through a business partner that's already registered from a business side with Market America and shop.com. So they kind of have their own free labor liaison to help implement and get the word out there. So for example, if Gina is introducing a church to the nonprofit program, it is Gina's responsibility to help that nonprofit be successful with this program. So they're not just kind of handed a website and said, okay, have fun. I hope it works out for you. Gina's there every step of the way to implement different creative solutions and different ideas, which I'll talk about to help make this very successful with the nonprofit. Here's the next best thing. It is completely free. It is completely free nonprofit program. It does not cost a cent. And that's what's amazing because listen, at the end of the day, if something doesn't work out the way they intended it to, it's no harm, no foul. There was no price point attached to a nonprofit being able to participate with this company. So that's what's incredible about that, is it's a completely free service. And then all of the purchases that are made on this website generates a potential weekly and or monthly royalty for the nonprofit organization. So those are the quick steps. We have a one-page document that gets filled out with the 501c3 paperwork, gets submitted to the company, nonprofit decides on what they want their website to be, and then we share this website with the supporters. We have different ideas for different unique workshops depending on what the needs of that community or that nonprofit are, and then they have the capabilities of getting paid weekly and monthly royalties through this website. So let's talk a little bit more about the royalties. There's two ways to generate royalties. There's both monthly and weekly. With the monthly royalties, every one of the exclusive products that are tied to Market America, and let me just say this, Market America, we're a product brokerage company. Here's what makes that so special. We have access to about 14 different industries of products and services that people utilize on a regular basis that the nonprofit could get paid on, because our job as a product brokerage company is to look for areas that people are spending their money, look at industries where people are spending their money in a consumable way. And that what we do is we look for manufacturers that are making the best of the best products. We tell those manufacturers, keep your money in research and development. We're gonna move those products to an end consumer. And so since we go right from a manufacturer to the end consumer, we pass all of that savings along to our customers. So what makes that so powerful is all of the 14 industries, there's close to about like 4,000 exclusive products that we have, are on that website. Anytime a customer shops on the website from any of these different divisions on any of these exclusive products, there's an immediate retail profit, that's considered a royalty that gets directly paid to the nonprofit. So what it does is it aggregates and then pays in a monthly royalty. So that nonprofit, as soon as it hits $20, I think, gets a check in the mail. And it has the potential to be monthly on any of the exclusive products that someone shops at. And we'll go through what some of those look like. So if you're a guest on the call, you have an idea of what some of the different products and services someone could benefit from. So that's one way in the monthly royalty stream. Any of those exclusive products that someone buys, and it doesn't just have to be part of the community. I'll talk a little bit about ways to implement. And one of the most successful ways as a first step is to get that nonprofit's board on board with this program. So it's not just about the community being able to buy products and services that support their nonprofit, but the board can actually transfer their buying habits to some of these exclusive products and immediately guarantee that monthly royalty. I'll talk about it. Okay, so the second two-part is the weekly royalty. So all of those exclusive products I just talked about in about 14 different industries, each one of those has a point value attached to it. Those points also accumulate and earn different payouts in the form of royalties that have the potential of happening weekly. And I'll show you in a visual what that looks like. So just know there's an immediate retail profit of about 30 to 50% that's paid in that monthly royalty. And then there's the ongoing potential weekly residual royalties from all of these points that are associated with all of the products. So every single time someone makes a purchase on any of these products, there's two ways that the nonprofit gets paid out. So it's kind of like double dipping, which is pretty cool. So that's about how it's generated. So let's talk a little bit more about the website. So we're a product brokerage company, but we're also an internet marketing company with that shop.com platform. And so shop.com is the hub that the nonprofit has access to. So for example, this is showing XYZ nonprofit organization as an example. So it would be shop.com/XYZ nonprofit, whatever the nonprofit name is or whatever they want to call their website. And then their community will know that website is the nonprofits because it'll say right at the top there, you are shopping on the such and such portal. And so that's what's really neat is they know immediately whenever they're shopping that that nonprofit is going to benefit versus having to search it somewhere on the website. So let's talk a little bit about what makes this shop.com site so special. Anybody shop online? Or know people that shop online? Yeah, a bunch of us do, right? I see a whole bunch of people waving their hands, especially over the past 10 months, like everybody's shopping online. So this is what makes it powerful. We have not just our exclusive products on this website, but we have close to 4,000 partner stores that are associated with this website as well. So think about some of your favorite stores, maybe Home Depot, Walmart, Kohl's, Cabela's. I was just by there today, so that's why Cabela's kind of popped into my head. Kroger. So think of all these different stores that you might shop at on a regular basis. Well, we have 4,000 of these popular stores on our website. And what's really powerful is we don't ask them to pay to be a part of our platform. All we ask is that whenever a customer, and it's completely free to be a customer, just like it's completely free to be a nonprofit as part of this program, once a customer shops at any one of these stores, we just ask that store to pay a portion of their advertising dollars to our customer in the form of cash back and our business owners or the nonprofit in the form of royalties. And so that's what makes it incredible is that almost like, I can't think of the word, but it's a value add. It's like an extra incentive. It's an extra incentive and a little extra kickback or value for customers supporting a nonprofit. Hey, by the way, when you use our website, not only are you supporting our nonprofit, but you're going to get paid cash back every time you shop at your favorite stores, just as an added thank you. So it's not just kind of taking from the community, it's about giving to the community as well, which is really powerful. So once again, on the shop.com site, you have all thousands of our exclusive products. You have close to 4,000 of these stores available. And we also help take the burden of online shopping off of people's shoulders by giving them a little direction with something we have called Shop Buddy. Now, Shop Buddy is a completely free browser extension. So when they would go on to the nonprofit's website, the customer, they would register their free account, just like if you were going to register an account at Walmart or Home Depot, like name, phone number, email address, that sort of thing. Once they have their free accounts, they're going to download something called Shop Buddy. And you can see it right up here in this category here. That's just a browser extension. But what happens is when they download Shop Buddy, here's the cool thing. What if a customer totally forgets about the nonprofit's website and just goes to Kohl's.com? Well, if they're a registered preferred customer of the nonprofit and they have Shop Buddy is going to pop up as soon as they hit Kohl's and tell them it is a partner store that's affiliated with the nonprofit. At the click of a button, it'll automatically redirect them back through the nonprofit's website. So it makes sure that the nonprofit never misses out on a customer, but also all of the coupon codes going on that website are going to pop up. So it makes sure the customer never misses out on cash back and never misses out on a deal. So it's kind of a lot to talk about up front, but just know that there's a website that has benefits for the customer and has benefits for the nonprofit. And please get back together with the person that invited you. At the very least, take a tour of their website. Let them show you these things that we're talking about live so you can get a little bit understanding of the power of the platform that we're talking about. Also in this red box, you're going to see exclusive brands there. I think now our website looks a little bit different in that exclusive brands is going to be from a drop-down menu here where it says shop. When you click on exclusive brands, you're going to see all of the things that the nonprofit immediately will benefit from that immediate royalty stream, that 30% to 50% difference in the exclusive products that we have. So they'll get to know, hey, what can I buy or what am I going to use that I could benefit my nonprofit from immediately? And that's going to be this exclusive tab. Click the next button. And then I just talked about Shop Buddy, which is showing there. And then you can ensure once again that you're shopping on the platform because it's going to say their name right here. And just so you understand, these shop.com platforms are millions of dollars in technology that a nonprofit gets completely for free. It's incredible. And like I talked about, whether they're part of the nonprofit and on the board shopping through this website, or they're a part of the community, or even the community's referral. Because Gina, if you find a good deal online, are you going to share that with other people? Yeah. So now Gina, let's say she's a part of a church and she's helping her church's nonprofit. Well, she's going to share with her friends and family, hey, there's an amazing website that I can go to that I can get paid every time I shop. So now it's not just about the nonprofit's immediate community or their board, but it's as far as that word of mouth can travel. And now all of a sudden, the nonprofit is benefiting from all of these different people shopping that weren't necessarily directly affiliated with the nonprofit to begin with. So that's what's incredible about our platform as well, is it's exciting. People love getting good deals, love shopping, love getting good products, but they're also going to share that as well. And so as that site gets shared, more and more people are shopping, which means more and more royalties are being generated for the nonprofit. Okay, so when we talked about exclusive brands, let's talk a little bit about what someone might have access to. Remember I talked about we have 14 different industries, and I'm talking about like multi-million and billion-dollar industries we have access to. Health and wellness is now one of the top most consumable industries of all time because people are looking to promote internal wellness, take better care of their health. What's so powerful about our vitamin line is that it's isotonic capable. What that means is it's a powder. When you mix it with water, you drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. It tastes like liquid sweet tarts. It's delicious, I promise. Drink it in the morning on an empty stomach, and 95% of that vitamin becomes available within 5 to 10 minutes for your body to use. Now, what most people don't realize is when we take a pill or a capsule or a tablet or even a chewable, most of that gets broken down by our stomach because our stomach processes it as food. And so our stomach acids break down most of that. So by the time it gets to your small intestine where maximum absorption occurs, you maybe absorb, if you have a stellar digestive system, 30%. So a lot of people are spending money on vitamins and supplementation, but they're not necessarily getting the full benefit. That's what makes our line so special, because of that isotonic form. And so I know right now that wellness is super overwhelming and confusing because there's so much out there. So here's the neat thing for a nonprofit is they can actually give better direction to their community on what to use and why, because you're taking that extra weight off their shoulders and having to figure it out themselves. And so we're not just equipping nonprofits with a way to generate more royalties and more fundraising, but we're also giving them a platform that's going to add a ton of value to their existing customer base, which is incredible. So this is the health and wellness. We have 14 different industries. So I'm not going to break all of them down, but please get back together with the person that invited you if there's one that lights you up and you want to learn a little bit more about. Aloe, we have an ultimate aloe juice. It's 150% medical proof aloe. It's 100% of the inside, 50% of the whole leaf. It's cold processed, turned into a juice. Just like the aloe plant helps topically if you have like a burn or an irritation, the juice does the same thing internally. So think about anybody that has any kind of digestive issues, maybe acid reflux, GERD, burn your mouth on a hot piece of pizza, anything going on internally to your cells, ultimate aloe is a good thing. Energy, everybody's looking for energy, right? So we have these awake shots, which are kind of like a 5-hour energy, but better. So it's all B vitamins, a little bit of caffeine, so it's healthy for you, low sugar. And then we also have like your rocket fuel of energy with our Mocha Tonics line. Anybody that's familiar with this, anybody drink Mocha Tonics? Yeah, that stuff is so good. It's delicious. I'm not allowed to drink it right now because my husband are trying to get pregnant, but once I'm not, I will be back on this stuff because it tastes delicious. So it's just a powder you kind of mix with hot milk or nut milk or coffee. I put it in my coffee. I'm a weirdo. And it gives you up to 16 hours of solid focused energy. Not jittery out here energy, but solid like mental focus. It's also a thermogenic, so it helps you lose weight. Mocha Tonics is great stuff. We have a heart health line. That's really important for taking care of your ticker, especially, you know, not just it's the #1 killer, but also it's like a time now where people are stressed and they're vulnerable and they're worried. And at this point, we all should be taking care of our health in multiple different facets. We have a weight loss line. And here's the neat thing about any one of our brands can also be paired with an educational workshop that can help the community of the nonprofit. So I'm sure they're out there. Every nonprofit has access to people that are maybe looking to get a little healthier or burn some fat or lose some weight. Well, this system is designed around the low glycemic index and teaching you how whole foods impact your blood sugar. And so, yes, we have shakes and we have tools and we have thermogenics and all of these different things. But most importantly, we have the education about how food impacts your body. And that's what this is all about. So these can all be workshops. We have an age management line that is part of our wellness line as well. So for those that are looking to stay young, anywhere from like prostate support or menopausal support up to like bone and joint and everywhere in between, we have a whole segment of products that support that as well. Cosmetics, that's my thing. I'm a freelance makeup artist. I work in the film and television industry. And so motives really changed the game when it came to my career. So we actually have a brokered line of cosmetics. And we have 4 different brokered lines of skincare, which is incredible. And so here's the neat thing is I'm sure every community has access to men and women that are maybe looking to take better care of their skin, but they don't know what to use or why. Well, here's the neat thing is every single unfranchised owner that works with a nonprofit comes at the ready with a whole team of people that have different specialties. So they can do different workshops or fun things that add more value to the community through education. But then all of the different products and services the nonprofit has access to can help them get paid in royalties. So they're adding value, but they're also bringing in fundraising, which is, I think, most important. So if you hear me say those 2 words a lot, that's the big thing we're about. We're about adding value and bringing more funds. We have a children's line. And so what's nice about this is it's 97 and 98% natural. We have everything from like the body balms and lotions and diaper creams to the health and wellness probiotics and antioxidants and omega-3 support as well. So we have a whole full line of wonderful products for children as well. And so as I'm going through here, here's the biggest thing that I want people to understand. For a nonprofit, there are products and services that people currently use for their house. They currently spend money on. And so I think one of the big challenges with fundraising is that a lot of fundraising is about either buying something that someone currently doesn't need or just gifting money. But the problem is a lot of people don't know where that money is going. And so here's the neat thing that we can do. We can ask people to just buy what they're currently buying, but they can do it in a way that brings funds to the nonprofit. We have a really cool tool that's available physically and digitally that every single nonprofit can send out to their community. And it's something called a home shopping list. On the front page or the first page of the digital version is all of the products that someone might spend money on currently in their kitchen. Do they buy dish soap? Do they buy dishwashing crystals? In their laundry room, do they buy laundry soap? Do they buy fabric softeners? You get my drift. So it goes through all of these different rooms and talks about different products that someone might spend money on. And all they do is check off. So what do they currently spend money on? They just check it off. On the flip side, or the second page, it shows the exclusive products that they could transfer their buying habits to that'll pay the nonprofit. And so here's the thing that I was excited about, and I'll just give you an example. I was support services of Berks County. It's a nonprofit that I've been working with. I was talking to their board of, whoa, if someone could mute, that would be amazing. Thank you. I was talking to their board. It was 5 women. As we were sitting there talking, and I was talking about all of the different products and services they have access to, they were a community of women and men that are really driven by clean products. They want to make sure whatever they're using because of what they've been through, that if it's going in their body, on their face, in their home, that it's pure ingredients, that it's clean. Well, here's the best thing about being a product broker. We have access to all of that. So it's not just about buying any product. Every single thing that that nonprofit has access to on their website is clean. It's the right ingredients and the right combinations in the right percentages at a price point that's better than what they'd be able to buy something comparable to at the store. So we're saving people money and we're providing them better quality products without them having to do all of the trial and error of spending money trying to figure out what works. We took all of that away from them and put it all in one branded website, which is amazing. That adds so much value to someone. So as the woman we were talking, and she was like, well, listen, they're on the board. They're like, I see this as we all buy laundry detergent. So we could buy laundry detergent, get paid cash back to do it, and know that 30 to 50% of that purchase goes to the nonprofit? And I said, yep. Here's the neat thing. Let's say out of every laundry detergent purchase, $4 goes to the nonprofit. So there are 5 women on that call. If all of them committed to buying, I'm doing math real quick as I'm talking to you all. If every single one of them committed to buy laundry detergent from their website, 5 times $4 is $20 a month. $20 a month times 12, it's $240 a year. $240 a year in fundraising by 5 women on that board deciding to buy laundry detergent that they're going to buy anyway. They're going to get a better quality product at a better price, so they're saving money. They're going to get paid because a customer gets paid cash back and it's totally free, and the nonprofit's getting paid. It's incredible. So here's the first step as a tip in making this work for a nonprofit is you want to share this with the board. Because if the board, and all I did was send them a home shopping list, if the board commits to checking off a few things they're going to spend the money on anyway, why would they not buy a better quality product as something that supports the nonprofit? If the board commits to buying a few products, then all of a sudden it's immediately working for that nonprofit. And here's the thing, the board is the leadership of that nonprofit. If the leaders aren't implementing, it's a chance that the community is not going to implement. But if the leaders are implementing and they're having an experience and they find products they love and they're talking about that with the community, and the person that introduced the nonprofit is sharing different workshops and helping them implement, this can be wildly successful to the tune of thousands of dollars a year for this nonprofit. And so just understand that everything that people currently spend money on, we have an exclusive product that matches that. So I'm going to quick power through here because we have cleaning products for the home. We have pet products. And then once again, this is how they know that they're shopping on their nonprofit's website. And so just get back together with the person that invited you and look at all of the different brands and things that we have access to, and ask for them to send you this home shopping list so you can check it out and see what it might be able to do for your home. Because I tell people, most when you check this off, you'll check off 20 products that you currently spend money on. Does it mean you have to buy all 20 through the website? No. But does it mean you could try 3 or 4 and have an experience with them? Absolutely, and benefit the nonprofit at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this in for a close here to just talk about how this converts into royalties for the nonprofit. So at the end of every month, this virtual account where all of these monthly type royalties are accumulating will be totaled, and a check for that amount gets automatically sent to the NPO, as long as it's greater than 20 bucks. If it's not, it just sits in there until it accrues, and once it hits 20 bucks, they get sent a check. So once again, all of that 30 to 50% retail profit in the form of royalties on all of the exclusive products that we talked about gets totaled up at the end of the month, and the nonprofit gets a check. Here's an example. Remember how I just talked about like a couple women on the board buying laundry detergent? Well, this is an example. If someone was willing to buy their multivitamin, vitamin C, their shampoo, their detergent, their fabric softener, and their dishwashing crystals. I mean, that's not totally unreasonable. People buy these things on a regular basis, right? That royalty total on one person would be $25. So just from that one person ordering those products, $25 goes to the nonprofit. But those weekly potential royalties in the form of points also gets totaled as well. And so that one person that created $25 in royalties generated these 40 points, which are going to an additional royalty. So let's just do the basic math here in this example. If there are 200 contributing members of the nonprofit that all did this order, 200 members times $25 is $5,000 in monthly royalties that's paid to the nonprofit. And well, this isn't unreasonable. Everybody buys detergent, fabric softener, dishwashing crystals or dish detergent, shampoo, maybe a vitamin C or a multivitamin. That's not bad. $25, 200 people doing this is $5,000. If there are 100 people doing this, it's $2,500. I was like, what's 5,000 divided by 2? It's $2,500 in immediate monthly royalties to the nonprofit. And then let's talk about how those points equal. Those points get stored up in banks and they pay different thresholds of volume. So if that same 200 people that were buying that same grouping of product that you'd see in front of you, 200 times those 40 points will equal 8,100 points a month. And I'm going to show you how that converts into an income. So when it comes to the weekly royalties, we have these piggy banks. Those volume points store in those piggy banks. This is separate from the immediate. So that $5,000 was immediate, paid that month, but those points store in these piggy banks and go towards other commissionable royalties. And so as they're shopping, these points accumulate in the left and right banks. They're alternately placed and they go towards royalties as well. It looks like this. Any Friday that the nonprofit has 1,200 points in the left and right side, they get an additional $300 royalty. So remember that one beforehand, it was creating 8,100 points. If you have that on either side, that means that that nonprofit is getting paid an additional $300 to $600 every other week on top of their monthly $5,000. Not too shabby. So as those volume points accumulate, the next threshold is if they have an additional 1,200 points on both sides, bringing it to 2,400 points, they get another $300 check. Once it hits 3,600 points on both sides, they get another $300 check. And then it looks for an additional 1,400 points on both sides, bringing it to 5,000 of those BV points on both sides. They double the check to $600. So at that point, the nonprofit, separate from their retail royalty, has been paid $1,500 in weekly royalties potentially. So that volume resets so they can begin to accrue the royalty part, those points again. So the potential on this type of weekly royalty is $1,500 plus a $600 bonus. So I know this is a lot of numbers. The basic thing to remember is that whenever someone buys anything that's exclusive of ours, they get an immediate royalty that's paid monthly, and then they also get points towards additional royalties as well. But you may want to see this a couple more times just so you understand how the points turn into additional royalties as well. Okay, so what are the requirements for a nonprofit? They have to be a current 501c corporation. They have to have a qualified person with Market America, a qualified partner that's willing to introduce them. So they have to be qualified and active like a Gina or a Murian or a Ken. They have to complete and submit a marketamericashop.com site agreement, an agreement from the person that's introducing them, and then the documentation of their current nonprofit organization status, their 501c3. And then they have to, and this is on our end, this is so important, there is a special form that we fill out as the person introducing the nonprofit, promising that we agree to take on the responsibility of helping the nonprofit make this successful. That's the quality control of what we do. That's the integrity of our company. They don't just want to be introducing nonprofits and then setting them up to go off and try and figure things out themselves. They're not even willing to bring on a nonprofit unless they know they have a liaison that's there to help them make this successful. That's really powerful. Okay, so, and then keep it simple. Just begin with recommending household items. Use this home shopping list. Have them pick a few things that make sense that they're going to spend money on having it buy through their website. And then take some of their favorite stores that they shop at anyway. You don't have to teach them how to shop at Walmart or Kohl's. They're just going to shop through the nonprofit's website in order to go to those stores so that the nonprofit can get paid in those points and that they can get the cash back on it as well. This is the home shopping list that I showed you. And once they check off the things on the front page on the digital version, it'll show them the exclusive product that they can transfer their buying habits to. And then of course, by doing all of that, it provides a return, not just to the nonprofit, but also to the customer base as well. All right, so if you're a 501, if you have a need to create funds, if you have a supportive nonprofit organization that have a vested interest in that nonprofit thriving, and if you have an unfranchised owner with Market America that's willing to introduce and work with you, you qualify. Yay. And that's our nonprofit program. I know this was a lot of information, but I'm happy to open it up and take questions at this time. Does anybody have any questions about how the nonprofit organization works?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does signing up a NPO count towards an activation? Okay.
No, because they are not considered an unfranchised owner. They're a
Okay.
nonprofit. There was no payment involved, and so no, they're not considered towards activation.
Okay.
But they can be a great BD generator. That's a great question, though.
Yeah. A lot of this
Do we have?
clarifies a lot, like because it was just, I really didn't, I've heard about our program, but I didn't really know how it was implemented. So this clarifies a lot.
But just understand, here's something powerful, and do we have any guests or nonprofit organizations on the call tonight? No, I'm looking. Ayana, I see a Motorola and Ayana. The only reason I asked is from the nonprofit standpoint, I didn't want to get too business building-y because I wasn't quite sure who we have on, but I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. That way I can see all of you at one time. So here's the neat thing that I didn't get into is that when you bring a nonprofit on board, they are placed like a partner is placed. So they're either on your left side or right side. So here's the neat thing. For example, I have the Reading Civic Theater, Opera Society is one of my nonprofits who I do performances with. So they're on the left side of my business. As I'm building my left side, 100% of 100% of 100% flows up. So it's not just what the nonprofit is doing, but as you're building your business, all of those volume points are flowing up through your nonprofit and helping them as well. So that's something to consider, is they're placed in the system just like a independent business owner is.
Okay. would that count if somebody's not activated? Like, would you still reap the benefits from that if you're not activated?
Yeah, you still
Okay.
get all the points.
Okay.
You're just not getting paid on
Okay.
them until you are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question in chat, Maleeva.
Oh, what we got? In what countries can a nonprofit come into the business? That's an excellent question. I don't know if this is available outside of the United States. Jack Beck is shaking his head no, so just in the United States. And maybe Canada. Canada? Maybe Canada.
That I'm not sure of, but I know the U.S. is, again, just because of the all the regulatory that the company had to go through just to get the program up and running in the first place. Every country is going to have their own regulatory issues to deal with.
Yeah, that's a great point, because actually, when I was speaking with the breast cancer support services with some of their board, she had said before they realized what this was, she's like, just so you know, we can't have anything that we sell and make a profit off of, like that we would lose our 501c3 sitting. And I was like, actually, our company figured that out, already worked with the regulatory bodies, and as long as they are a 501c3 and they're registered with our company, that clause goes away. So they have the ability to earn royalties unlike anything they've ever been able to do before, which is pretty cool. So as soon as I said that to them, they were like, well, that's amazing. I was like,
and
oh.
just to mention, that's why it's called a royalty, because they're allowed to get royalties.
Right. So for us, we say retail profit and commissions. For them, we say monthly royalties and weekly royalties. So they get paid the same way as an unfranchised owner. It's just a matter of, instead of their retail profit, they're having to like cash out, or because there's so many different ways that we can profit from our retail profit. For them, it's just accrued on a monthly basis and then paid to them in one lump check. Yeah. And I mean, just think about from the workshop standpoint, if you're makeup focused, you could do all of the workshop that we do as our company and retail events, you could do with a church, you could do with a nonprofit. If they're doing a school drive, you can use shop.com and Walmart and all of these different stores for their back to school purchases. You can do wellness workshops, wellness 101, skincare workshops, all of these different workshops that we have available to us as business owners that we do to launch new business owners, you can do for any nonprofit community. And so they're benefiting from the education, but then they're also getting introduced to the products and services, and all that money is going to the nonprofit. Vanessa, did I see you? Yep.
So Maleeva, just some clarification. So you were talking about, now it's not necessarily like our left side or our right side. If we get, say, 2 community nonprofits, if we have one, it will go on the left and the right, just like we had a business partner, but as Paula was saying, not necessarily active, but we're still making all of those BV, IBV points on whatever they're shopping on. Okay.
Correct.
And then from there, how does that work then? Because, it normally trickles down. I know it goes back up, but when you sign on new people, how does that work when you have nonprofit? Is it a totally different entity then?
Yeah, the only thing that changes is you can't give a nonprofit your points.
Okay.
So that's a big thing. So like, just as if I introduce Gina, I can give her my points. As a nonprofit, you can't manipulate their volume. Anytime an order is placed on their website, it just goes back and forth between their centers. So they don't have that capacity like we do as business owners.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's actually, I'm glad I signed on because that's really cool.
Oh,
Love
Lisa had a question. Oh, awesome, Lisa. As community business owners that support them, then those could potentially be placed under the nonprofit, and that volume will benefit everyone, correct? Yes, absolutely. So let's say I introduce breast cancer support services, and someone on their board who is a former Mary Kay might be like, I want to do this as a business. Great. The nonprofit can't introduce business partners, but I can introduce the business partner and place them under the nonprofit, which duh, and 100% of that volume benefits the nonprofit and benefits me. So think of a nonprofit as also a whole avenue of potential leads and prospects for the business. Yep. Anyway, the biggest thing though is there has to be a driven board that is on board for converting some of their spending. Has to be. Because I'll be honest, for Reading Civic, I have a couple other board members that buy every now and again, but I've just like, I can only do so much, and I can throw out workshop ideas and we can put things in the funnel. But if they're all older and they're not necessarily subscribing to that thing, they don't benefit as much as breast cancer support services that are like, we have a community that only eats clean things, uses clean things. They will love all of these products. I'm going to buy my laundry detergent every Monday. Like, they're motivated. I mean, so the success, just like the success of any franchise owner, is going to be in how like motivated and excited they are about introducing those things. And so that's why this home shopping list is so powerful, and our duplicatable workshops that you can implement. And I'm honest with the board. I'm like, listen, you're the leadership. And so I want to make sure that you understand the power of this and are willing to convert some of the things so that you can have a testimonial, that you can share the experience. Because if you're not going to do it, this isn't going to work. I'm honest with them because they want money, you know? So that's the big thing, because it is work. It's almost like if you're bringing on a salon or a clinic or a doctor, like they take a little bit of work up front from the implementation standpoint, but they can be very powerful. All right. Well, we're closing in on the 9:50 mark. I know I went long, so thanks for sitting with me.
Do you do these often?
This was the first time.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna
But
be
we
doing
can.
them on a monthly basis. So what we're doing is we're doing university major overviews every Thursday at 9 p.m. and every Thursday will be a different industry that we're gonna highlight. So we're gonna do them on a rotating basis. So next Thursday at the same time, the same Zoom code is gonna be a web center overview.
Okay.
Jack was able to get Jason Pelland to
Ooh.
commit to doing that overview. I know. I don't know how he
Good job, Jack.
gets all
It's
of you
working
guys.
magic.
I know. He's like, oh, let me just call Dennis Franks and see if he can. I'm like, how do you just call Dennis Franks? I don't understand. And I don't know. So he doesn't tell. Jack's my brother, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So I pick on him a lot. So anyway, so he was able to secure Jason. So we're so excited because, I mean, who better to learn about web centers from than Jason Pelland. So he'll be doing our overview next Thursday for web centers. Then the following week, we haven't secured our speaker yet, but our plan is to do another Conquer Entertainment overview the last Thursday of the month. So then we're going to start back over again. So it's going to just be on a rotating basis. So if Maleeva is willing to do another one for the next month, then we'll be happy to have her do another one. Or if she's busy, then we can ask some other owners to step up too. So for sure, yeah. So but we'll keep putting the word out every time that we'll promote it every time that we get another, secure another speaker, we'll put the promotion out for sure.
Mm-hmm. And this will give you time too to start thinking about who are maybe some nonprofits that you're affiliated with or church groups in the community that might benefit from this information.
Maleeva and Gina, I wanted to say real quick that you guys, if you have children in schools, I was very active with the PTA of my kid's school, and that's who I wanted to have on today. She, I guess, couldn't make it, but schools are always looking for fundraisers. And think about it, if you can get a school in, think about it, they have all, you know what I mean? And they're, and all the fundraisers out there, this is amazing because all the fundraisers out there only give you so little bit, and it's stuff like, I wanted to hear this because now I'm like more than ever, like, you know what I mean? Because schools, I'm very active in the PTA, okay? The schools, think about it. If you have a kid has ever sold something to you, it's stuff you don't really need. You don't need at all, right? Chocolate, whatever.
Chocolate,
but you buy
candy.
to support the
Peanuts.
school. But think about it. People need to wash their hair. So guys, if you know your local schools, if you have kids, grandkids, start, ask for the PTA to talk to the PTA person, and get that foot in the door. I'm telling you, and just have them sit in next month. When like Gina, now just made me excited because Gina said they're gonna do this every month. So yeah, I just saying. There's a question in chat.
Yes, and that's a really good point, Marion, because even like sports organizations, they're always looking for ways to raise money. So yeah, thank you, Marion. That's an awesome point. So we did have another question. It's Maleeva, I'll let you answer. Does the NPO have to sponsor 2 people in order to become activated?
Nope. It's amazing. They don't have to do anything.
There's
they
no
have to do something, but they don't have to bring on any business partners in order to earn commissions like we do. So their points just flip flop, and whenever they hit those points, they get that royalty payout.
Yeah, they have no requirements, no monthly requirements, no yearly requirements. There's nothing. They don't pay any money at all. They actually are just placed in the organization, and then they just have to do their job in promoting it, and then also utilizing the products, because you want them to be. It's the same thing, for us. You want them to be a product of the product. They can't share and ask their supporters to buy and use the products if they're not using them themselves, because people, they're going to do what you do, not what you say. Yeah. So.
And that was a good point, Marion. I was just thinking, like, I don't have kids yet, but if my kids came home with a fundraiser and I was like, I have to like push all of these products on all my friends and family, or I could just buy some laundry detergent, like, sold. Yeah. I'm just going to buy the thing that I was going to buy anyway, and my kid can make some money, and that's amazing.
And it's so much more. What they're going to get, the royalties that they get is so much more from using products that they use that they have to buy anyway. I mean,
sorry, Motorola said, simply amazing. Wow, I won't sleep from excitement. Can you see my face? I'm like, this presentation to my kids' school. I'm like, I know that, think about it. If you are a person who's looking for some fundraising, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Gina. I just read that.
No, please.
I know so many people, organizations, like Maleeva says, sports, and they're looking for money, and everybody always wants to give them a little bit. If you hear this presentation, like, wait a minute, I can get money this way, that, and everybody's shopping online. So I agree with you, Motorola. Sorry, I don't know who it is. I'm just too excited. So yeah, and I know that any nonprofit lead person would get excited too. So yeah.
Just remember, they have to have the 501c designation.
Yeah. Awesome, Maleeva. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Does anybody else have anything to add before we wrap up?
I just want to add something, because like my kids' school last year closed down because schools, like you could look at like Catholic schools or schools, they need the fundraising. And something like this, you get it going and get it moving, that potential of the money is like, wow, you know what I mean? So I'm serious, nonprofits need this, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so many of them are constantly doing like one-offs. Like I know Reading Civic, I want to shake them sometimes, because I'm like, every 6 months you do an Applebee's fundraiser where people buy BS pancakes and sausage for $10 or whatever to support your thing once. What if every time they bought their laundry detergent on a monthly basis, you were getting this same benefit? I'm just like, ah. But once again, can lead a horse to water, can't make them drink. So just understand that with nonprofits, be very selective. Just like you would be selective with a business partner, be selective with a nonprofit, because you're going to put your time and energy into them. You want to make sure that that board is on board with helping you be a part of that process. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
All right. Does anybody else
thank you all so much.
No?
How could I connect with you, outside of this presentation?
You can look me up on Facebook.
Okay.
On
How do
Facebook
you,
all the
I can't see your name, but how do you spell your name?
Maleeva.
Okay.
On Facebook, I think it's Lengel. Lengel. I had to think about it.
Okay.
That way I can be married when I feel like it.
Okay.
On Facebook,
Awesome.
I'm married. And professionally,
Okay.
I'm
All right. Mine is Paula Marie. I don't use my last name, so if is it okay to friend request you, or is it okay? Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. My like all my logos and my branding's Maleeva Epperson, so I got married. I'm like, so I just like didn't change it yet.
He's like a celebrity, and you know celebrities don't ever change their names, their last names. So
I
Maleeva.
told him, I'm like, you could take my last name.
Or you could just drop your last name altogether and just be
Just be
Maleeva,
Maleeva, like Madonna.
like Madonna or Oprah. All right. Well, you all have a great night. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next Thursday for